Though it's been almost 5 years since I actually did a short review of this in my original type form of a quickie review, which I now call mini reviews. But since the MonsterVerse is continuing this weekend with Godzilla X Kong the New Empire, I thought, what the hey, I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a full length re review of Godzilla King of the Monsters. But did it really deserve the mixed response? Well, I'll just break it down to you as I give you a re review of it. Here it is. Big Things Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Dual, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a re-review of the 2019 monster flick Godzilla King of the Monsters, released by Warner Bros. Along with Legendary Pictures, directed and co-written by Michael Dougherty. This is a sequel to the 2014 Godzilla film, third film in the MonsterVerse. Now, I didn't review the second film, which was Kong Skull Island. You'll get that tomorrow. It is also the 35th overall film in the Godzilla franchise and third to be completely produced by a Hollywood studio. Now, of course, this film stars Kyle Chandler, Vera Farmiga, Millie Bobby Brown, Bradley Whitford, Charles Dance, Thomas Middleditch, Aisha Hinds, O'Shea Jackson Jr., and Zhang. Plus, returning from the first film, Sally Hawkins, David Strathairn, and Kim Watanabe. In this film, eco-terrorists release King Ghidorah, who who awakens other monsters known as Titans across the world, forcing Godzilla and Mothra to surface and engage Ghidorah and Rodan in a decisive battle. Excuse me. This film was released on May 31st, 2019. While it didn't quite match up to its predecessor, though, and was factually considered a disappointment, but anyway, they got mixed reviews, though. But yeah, it does have a few flaws. Before I get started, if you haven't seen my review of Godzilla 2014, I would advise you to click on that little card there, and you can catch that in case you might have missed it, or if you want to see it again if you'd like before we go into this. I'll give you a little bit of time. Okay, now I do it. Now, on with the story. 5 years after the existence of giant monsters called Titans was revealed to the world, Dr. Emma Russell, a paleobiologist working for the Titan studying organization Monarch, and her daughter Madison witnessed the birth of a larva called Mothra. Emma calms Mothra using the Orca, a device that can emit frequencies to attract or alter Titan behavior. A group of eco-terrorists led by former British Army Colonel Alan Jonah attacks the base and abducts Emma and Madison. At the same time, Mothra flees and pupates up under a nearby waterfall. Monarch scientists Doctors Ishiro Shirazawa and Vivian Graham approach former employee Dr. Mark Russell, Emma's ex husband and Madison's father, to help track them down. Mark is reluctant at first due to his hatred toward Godzilla, whom he blames for his son Andrew's death during the events in San Francisco, but eventually agrees. The Monarch team follows Godzilla to Antarctica, where Jonah plans to free a three-headed titan codenamed Monster Zero. Emma frees and awakens Monster Zero, who proves to be hostile. He slaughters Monarch's G team, battles Godzilla, and devours Graham before escaping. The team later realizes that Emma is working with the terrorists. From a Monarch bunker, Emma contacts Monarch and argues that the Titans must be awakened to heal the Earth from the human impact on the environment, pointing to Monarch researching that, while indicating that Titans can terraform and replenish ecosystems. Emma awakens Rodan in Mexico, and the Monarch team lures it towards Monster Zero. After Monster Zero defeats Rodan, Godzilla ambushes Monster Zero, severing his left head. During the fight, the US military launches a prototype weapon called the Oxygen Destroyer, seemingly killing Godzilla. Unaffected, Monster Zero regrows his lost head and awakens the other dormant Titans worldwide, with Rodan submitting to his rule, while Serizawa chides Mark that he's gotten what he wished for, a heartbroken mess, and disowns Emma. Through analyzing Monster Zero's abilities and mythological texts, monarchs deduce that it's King Ghidorah, a highly destructive alien, and that it likely seeks to destructively terraform Earth itself. A post-pupation Mothra flies to Monarch's Bermuda base to communicate with Godzilla, who is recuperating in an ancient underwater sea in the Hollow Earth. The team uses a submarine to locate Godzilla's highly radioactive lair. Deducing it will take too long for Godzilla to heal on his own, Serizawa sacrifices himself by manually detonating a nuclear warhead to speed up the process, reviving Godzilla and increasing his power. Okay, now I'm going to go to the final act and the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video, go to the description box below, and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Emma realizes that Ghidorah's reign over the other Titans is bringing destruction that will be far worse than anything humans could inflict, but Jonah ignores her pleas to try and stop it. Madison overhears her mother's plan to lure Ghidorah to Boston nearby, which has been evacuated, and steals the Orca so she can implement it herself. Arriving at Fenway Park, Madison broadcasts a frequency that calms the Titans but unwittingly attracts them all to our location. Ghidorah lands in Boston to destroy the Orca. Godzilla arrives to engage him in battle with Mark personnel's assistance. Mark leads a team to rescue Madison and escape the city, learning Godzilla's radiation levels are increasing and will lead to a thermonuclear explosion. Mothra arrives to help Godzilla but is intercepted by Rodan. She defeats him but is injured in the process. Ghidorah overpowers Godzilla, but Mothra sacrifices herself and transfers her energy to Godzilla. Mark, Emma, and Madison are reunited and reactivate the Orca to prevent Ghidorah sucking Godzilla and Mothra's energy out of Godzilla. Emma sacrifices herself to keep Ghidorah distracted chasing the Orca, giving Mark, Madison, and the Monarch team time to escape. Godzilla enters a newly empowered state and vaporizes Ghidorah. Rodan and the other Titans converge on Godzilla and bow to him as their new alpha. And that's the end of the story, but that's not all. During the end credits, there's news clippings and marked public files show that the Titans are now healing the planet. A suspected second Mothra egg has been discovered, and some Titans are converging on Skull Island. Ancient cave paintings of Godzilla and Kong-like Titans locked in battle are shown. In a post-credit scene, Jonah and his forces purchased Ghidorah's previously severed left head in Mexico. That's that. So, what did I think of Godzilla King of the Monsters? Well, I will say it was a pretty good sequel, but it does have its issues, though. I just finished watching this a second time on Max since I went and saw this in the theater. While the film unfortunately couldn't match up to the success of its predecessor, though, its reviews were mostly mixed and what have you. Even close to negative. Screen Rant described responses as so negative, the Indian Express called reviews largely negative. Yahoo Finance noted the reviews to be a pretty mixed bag and what have you. And Forbes stated the film earned mixed reviews, but later stated the film earned mixed to negative reviews. The film currently sits at 42% on Rotten Tomatoes, saying the film delivers spectacular kaiju action and reaffirms that cutting edge effects are still no substitute for a good story. Completely understanding that. This gave this got a B plus from CinemaScore and a score 48 out of 100 by Metacritic. Now, of course, B plus was the same grade earned by its predecessor and Kong Skull Island, but I'm getting ahead of that. But anyway, The Guardian said it has rare moments of visual splendor, but they can't disguise a laughable script with a ramshackle narrative. Let's see. Uh, yeah. Anyway, Variety, however, said the film makes for a spectacular clash of the Titans, but this one has a less commanding balance of schlock and awe compared to its predecessor. And the Rap, however, gave it a decent review, saying it's taking an all thriller, no filler approach both to monsters and the human drama. Completely understandable and what have you. But I will give this film credit for what it had to offer, though. It was pretty good and what have you. But yes, it does have its issues. Now the critics did praise the visual effects, action sequences, cinematography, and musical score, which was done by Bear McCreary, who had just also done the score for the Child's Play reboot that same year, as a matter of fact. Now, Gareth Edwards, who was the director of the first film, was expected to return to direct the trilogy, but in May of 2016, he left the project. So, Dougherty and Zach Shields were brought on board to rewrite the script, and Dougherty was announced as the director in January of the following year. Now, criticism was for the plot, pacing, tone, and characters. Well, now, like the first film, the characters were fine, what have you, and they are in this one as well. Yeah, the pacing has a little bit of issues and what have you. The story is a little bit fine, but even so, I liked the effects and the action sequences and cinematography with all those great monsters and what have you. Now, I have not really taken the time to ever watch an actual film, well, any of the earlier films with Godzilla or even Mothra or Ghidorah or Rodan. I've seen clips from them though. If I could ever get the urge to one day, mind you, I may look into these. Anyway, but the film was factually considered a box office disappointment, making it 387 million worldwide against its 170 to 200 million budget. And its current and of course is the lowest grossing film in the MonsterVerse. But it would redeem its but however the franchise would redeem itself with Godzilla vs. Kong later on in 2021, which would make a big comeback after the pandemic occurred a year prior. Now, for our cast, we have Kyle Chandler as Dr. Mark Russell. I'm going to say he was good. Vera Farmiga played Dr. Emma Russell. Now, of course, this isn't the first time Farmiga and Chandler had worked together. I don't think. No, wait a minute. I'm getting that mixed up. I'm mistaken him for Ron Livingston. My mistake. Whoopsie. Yeah, my mistake. But yeah, Farmiga did a pretty good job. Millie Bobby Brown, who of course, well, who had just more recently starred as a titular character in Netflix's Enola Holmes series, and of course, already was well known for playing Eleven on their hit series Stranger Things, plays Madison Russell. She was good. Bradley Whitford played Dr. Rick Stanton. And, well, Sally Hawkins reprises her role as Dr. Vivian Graham from the first film. Charles Dance plays Alan Jonah, not bad. Thomas Middleditch played Sam Coleman. Yeah, decent character. Aisha Hinds plays Diane Foster, and O'Shea Jackson Jr. played Jackson Barnes. Now, the other people who return next to David Strathairn returned as Admiral Stins. Yeah, he was good. He was pretty good. But I did like Kim Watanabe reprising his role as Dr. Serizawa. I think that was good. And Zhang Ziyi played two different characters, Dr. Chen and Dr. Ling. Of course, Z, you might have remembered her from films like Rush Hour 2 and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, plus other films. So anyway, yeah, not too bad. It's got a pretty good cast and what have you. With their characters might be hit or miss, but I'm fine with that. But on the whole, from what I've seen of Godzilla King of the Monsters, after revisiting it, I'm gonna say it's a pretty underrated sequel. So would I recommend it? I'd say maybe give it a one-time watch if you are a hardcore completionist and what have you. So anyway, I think it's a pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Maybe not quite close. Well, it comes. Well, it kind of does come close to being good, like the first film, but just misses it by that much in a way. But no, nevertheless, it was still good. So, what did you think of Godzilla King of the Monsters? Let me know in the comments section below. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me next time when I bring to you a review of Kong Skull Island. Thanks for watching, and if you like this, check out these other films. In the upper left hand corner is my spoiler free review of the sequel to this, Godzilla vs. Kong from 2021. The upper right hand corner is my review of Enola Holmes with Millie Bobby Brown. Or if you would like a little more Vera Farmiga, see my spoiler-free review of the previous and the last Conjuring film, The Devil Made Me Do It. Also, released in 2021 as well. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. And please try to continue to support my channel because I have changed my image and what have you, but it's just temporarily. I'm going to be fixing up again later on, okay? So please continue to support my channel and view these videos, okay? Because I would gratefully appreciate it. So until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.